Hello, ugly people. I'm kidding. That's probably why you clicked on this video, right? Because you think you're ugly. Oh my god, I should probably start this a lot better than I just did. Hello, beautiful people. So I'm just gonna be talking the entire freaking time, and I'm gonna be talking about all the things that contribute to all of your insecurities. I'm gonna be talking about how everything is a freaking social construct. I'm not gonna be all, oh, the reason why you're insecure is because you're not praying enough to our Lord Savior. Like, no, it's white supremacy. It's always been white supremacy. It's gonna be like a podcast in the most visual way possible, because I'm gonna be drawing in front of you because I want to shove my art into all your faces. Speaking of white supremacy, the standards of our beauty is very, very Eurocentric. Like I don't know if it's obvious enough, but it's really freaking Eurocentric.
We have this beauty standard na maganda ang Eurocentric or Euro-Asian, like the K-pop.
Maputi, long straight hair,
Payat, tapos matangos ilong.
Honestly, I think that people make it seem like they want to look like foreigners.
You're supposed to have a white skin, you're supposed to have big eyes, you're supposed to have a skinny nose, you're supposed to be mestiza, and even your voice, even the way you talk is like considered like an attraction if you can talk like English. I get like comments like, oh my god, like I love your voice. Like if I talk like this, will you also love my voice? I don't think so, because Eurocentric beauty standards. But anyway, oh my god, I'm literally crazy. People are already clicking away. For example, like last year, like we made an actual research about like the beauty standards in the Philippines in the film industry in terms of the nose shape. I know, very specific, but like there were a lot of respondents that like experienced like their parents like pinching their nose or putting like a clothespin up their nose so that their nose is gonna be pointier and a button nose and like a little tall skinny white girl nose. And there's obviously so much privilege when you have white skin or lighter skin.
I usually get bullied before kasi I used to have very kinky hair. They would tease me about it, and then I was dark.
May mga roles na, kunyari sa mga school play or sa mga school project na usually ang pinipili yung mga stereotypically na maganda.
And also with your eyes. I've never like seen a makeup tutorial that was like, oh, do this to your eyes so that they look tinier. Like no, it's always like, do this to your eyes to make it larger and make it pop up more. You just have to look like you're a white person. That's literally it. Especially if you're in the Philippines. And colonialism has played such a huge role in it, especially
Filipinos. Meron pa silang like the colonial mentality.
When we were colonized by Spain for 333 years, how they consider like being dark-skinned not that attractive, kind of.
Like the colonizers, they would call us Indios or like literally friggin' idiots if you were Filipino. Like if you're Filipino, you're uneducated, you're stupid. So everybody wants to look like they're white people so that they gain respect, they gain honor, and they're not called Indios. And even in brands. However, there are different cultures. There are some cultures that appreciate like different features, but generally the standards will always be so Eurocentric. You would appreciate like beauties of other people who are like, I guess, tanner, people with brown skin, but at the same time, they still have Eurocentric features. Second is the representation that we have in the media. Have you ever noticed that all of the celebrities in the Philippines that you see are all white-skinned, all look like half Americans, I guess, all have tiny noses, and those are the actresses that you take seriously, like Liza Soberano, Catherine Bernardo, all of the big, huge celebrities that you see, they all possess these features, and those are the actresses that get serious roles where they're like crying or where they're the leading lady roles, as opposed to those who have brown skin, those who have a round nose. They are often the butt of the joke. They're represented as comedy. They almost rarely ever get to be the leading lady.
I don't really see any black models or anything like that, or really brown skinned models. It's more pale skin and that chinita and that mestiza look, unless they're kind of like used as in comedy. They're kind of like joked about and people like take the piss out of them.
That these representations is what represents us Filipinos when there's so much other diverse beauties out there that don't get the recognition they deserve. It's also the same thing when it comes to bodies. Both men and women, all of the plus size people are pertained to as jokes. They're not taken seriously. They are used as comedic relief.
What's your name?
Fat Amy.
You call yourself Fat Amy?
Yeah, so twig bitches like you don't do it behind my back.
And all of the other main characters that are serious and have actual good storylines or have like depth in character, they're all tiny, they're all skinny, none of them are plus size. And even on YouTube, like how many creators are plus sized or dark skinned are you subscribed to? Probably not a lot, because being a small petite white person is a huge privilege, and I also recognize that I have those privileges, that being able-bodied. I watched a wonderful video about this. Okay, so this is a YouTube video I was talking about. It's called The Myth of Meritocracy on YouTube. It's by Amanda Mariana. Maybe she'll notice me one day, who knows? I mean, she explains everything so much better here. I highly recommend you go watch her video or just watch her channel in general. You will learn a lot. It's a very good video. Okay, continue on. Being light-skinned and being skinny will always be a huge privilege. And even on social media, all the public figures that you know, people pay so much money to look this specific way. Which leads me to my next point, which is capitalism. There are literally advertisements, commercials, all about advertising light skin. Like there's like separate grocery lines for just products that make you lighter. There are products that make you look younger. There are diet programs that are always sold to you saying that this is what you need to do so that you can be skinny and you can have 11 abs. Like those 11 abs, I'm not saying like 11 abs. Anyway, and you need to eat this nutrition powder or this diet, and then you follow this routine so that you can have a small waist and a big butt, which leads me to sexism. The standard for women are so high, so
Unrealistic. Unreal.
Obviously, not to invalidate the standards for men. Everyone is a victim of these standards. But for women, it is always going to be so much worse. Do you ever think about why there's a Miss Universe, but not a Mr. Universe? Why doesn't that exist? I mean, there probably is. I don't really know, but like most people pay attention to the Miss Universe. Literally, women are treated as Build-A-Barbies. As a woman, you have to have skinny arms. Also, you have to have big boobs. But also, you have to have a tiny waist. And also, you have to have a big butt. But also, you need to have skinny legs. You have to be pretty, but you're also not supposed to wear that much makeup, because women are so sexualized and they're always expected to be pretty little objects. And what if you're not fit to be one of those pretty little objects? Then what are you? What is your value as a woman? That is the stigma that is happening.
I'm not offended if someone were to say, hey, people think you're sexy. I don't think there's anything wrong with being sexy. It's just the problem that that part was so loud that it muted out the rest of who I was.
And being sexualized and being objectified leads to harassment, especially for trans women. Trans women have to experience so much harassment all the time. And if you think about it, like even in paintings, like even in art, when beauty is being talked about, nobody ever draws and paints a man. I say as I'm drawing a woman with tits in front of you. Like for example, like the classic paintings are not men. It's always the girl with the pearl earring, it's the Mona Lisa, it's the rebirth of Venus. Because women are representations of beauty, which isn't that bad, but at the same time it has its negative effect.
I knew I was smart, I knew that I was funny, I knew that I was strange, but in a good way, because that's who I was. And then all of a sudden, I was none of those things. I was supposed to just be a sexy girl or the prettiest girl or the most beautiful, which is the most burdensome title to have to carry around, especially when you don't feel that way about yourself, because you feel like eventually people are going to figure out that this is not true. Like, I know it's not true right now, but the shoe's going to drop at some point, and then what? What am I valued for? I'm valued for this thing, which is a farce.
And lastly, ageism, as well as, I'm not going to say the word, it starts with a P and ends with an pedophilia. That's really bad censorship. Like for example, Megan Fox in an interview was like,
every male journalist that came in was like, well, what plans do you have for your future? Because you've always been the sexy girl, but now you're 30. And I remember by like the second day, I was like kind of yelling at people, and I was like, I don't even have wrinkles in my forehead yet, but I'm supposed to hang it up and not be an actor anymore because I'm 30? You.
Or like there was also this line from You Girl, this character who is a model, her name is Cece, and she goes like,
Cece, have you ever questioned your entire career? Duh, I'm a 31-year-old model.
And in real life, if you're a woman and you're old and you're single, you're like an old maid, or oh, poor you, I feel so bad for you because you're a girl and you haven't married yet. But if you're a guy, he's like a bachelor, or oh, you should go date a girl who's like half your age. And also the entire concept of beauty fades, saying that beauty is always associated with being young. And the thing is, there should be beauty in wrinkles because it's a natural something that happens in life. It's inevitable, it's natural. I don't know if there's like older people who watch this channel, but yeah, ageism and like relating beauty to youth is also extremely capitalist and selling you anti-wrinkle products and Botox. And the thing is, if you want to change something about yourself, please go change it. Like, do whatever you want. But at the same time, we need to recognize that there is beauty in all of us. Oh my god, it sounds so freaking cheesy. There's like a trend before, like saying that we should normalize surgery. I'm like, honey, don't normalize surgery. But at the same time, don't shame people who undergo surgery. Just think about it, okay? Think about the most beautiful person you know. And I promise you, they get hella insecure, and they will also always get hate. There will always be someone out there who doesn't like them, who doesn't appreciate their beauty. The same thing goes with you. There will always be someone out there who doesn't like you, who doesn't appreciate your beauty. But at the same time, there's always going to be someone out there who appreciates your beauty. But also, that doesn't matter because apparently beauty fades. I'm kidding. We never win! Also, please stop telling yourself you're ugly. Okay, wait, I'm such a hypocrite because I do this all the time, but like with your friends or when you take pictures, you go like, oh, I'm so ugly. Or like when you go to the bathroom and you look at the mirror and you're with your friends and you go like, oh, I'm so ugly. I ruined the picture. Like, oh my god, I hate this about myself. And stop doing that to yourself. Stop making things so much harder for yourself. Honestly, what good is it doing you? It's not doing you any favors. And like in my videos, I make a lot of jokes about like, oh my god, I'm so pretty. I'm like, bitch, I'm so hot. Like all this blah, blah, blah. And I would get comments like, oh, I wish I was as confident as her, but like at the same time I'm doing that because I'm insecure and I don't want to project it even more on other people, because everybody feels insecure. I swear, nobody's ever 100% confident. Like, it's literally impossible. So like, do yourself a favor and stop talking bad about yourself. Like, the world is already cruel enough, man. Give yourself a goddamn break. Do your best to keep your energy sacred to you. Stop inviting all of these like negative things by saying you're ugly and saying all of these terrible things to yourself, and because it's not manifesting anything good for you. So here's the final drawing, yay! I don't really know, I don't really like it that much, but like, she's supposed to be morena, but then I also wanted to make her blue because I was already running out of brown pencils. I also made it blue for another reason, which I'm not gonna tell you yet, but yeah, it's okay, I guess. Could be better. Anyway, also just want to say to everybody who comments like, oh, I want to be a YouTuber too, but I feel so ugly, I don't have the confidence, like, just do it, man. Like, be the representation that people need. Just remember that every time you feel insecure, a white man earns money. Like, more coins enter a white man's bank. The only way that we can abolish these terrible standards is by freeing ourselves from the shackles of white supremacy and the patriarchy. I know it's difficult, but please, please try your best.